I am so excited to be here with you today. It's Tuesday. We are in the Author's Corner, Own It Magazine and Publishing. My name is Marisa Bludar. I am your host, and I am the chief. I'm not the editor-in-chief, but I am the chief editor-in-chief of Own It Magazine and Publishing. Taking center stage with me is none other than the editor-in-chief of Phoenix Fitness Magazine. Hey! Love it. I love it. I love it. You know, we are like family. We are a family. And we support each other. We're so excited to be here today. Huge success over the weekend. We are making international bestsellers, authors, speakers now. We're just, listen, as a good friend of mine used to say, we are doing the darn thing. And so excited to be taking center stage and owning it with you this morning, Tiffany. How are you feeling over there in sunny California?
Oh, I feel fantastic. And thank you so much, Marisa, for having me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today as well. I hope you grab some wonderful nuggets and some inspiration today as well. Yes, it is sunny today. It hasn't been sunny, so I'm excited because I get to get out and, I have a fit boot addiction right now with rebound boots. So I'm going to get out there and do a little bit of that today.
Oh, my God. You look like you're having so much fun.
It is so much fun. It makes you feel like a kid. It really does. And it takes all the impact off of your joints and stuff. So it just makes you feel good, and I go out there and sometimes I find a little bit of inspiration just going out there, bouncing around, and then I can come back in and really dive into writing and getting creative, It's really cool.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to find some clear, flat surface here in the Dominican Republic, which I don't believe is too many places in order for me to be able to do that. But it looks like a whole lot of fun. You have to share a video so we can actually show the people here. Check Tiffany out on TikTok, check her out on Instagram, and see what she's doing with these. What are they called?
They're called fit boots.
Fit boots. She is doing it. I get so jealous. I'm sitting over there saying she is having so much fun with her group, her friends and people that she's meeting doing this. It's amazing. It goes to why we created the Lifestyles and Leisure Living magazine is because we work hard. But we also have to have time that we play. And even though this is getting physically fit, you're doing 2 in 1. You're having a lot of fun playing as you're getting physically fit, because I know you got to be getting physically fit with those things on.
Oh, absolutely. You burn 25% more calories on these things because you're having to stand up and stay balanced on them. So you're engaging your core pretty much the whole time that you're on these boots.
Amazing. Well, we're here to talk to you. We're in the Author's Corner. We have some huge successes this weekend. And Tiffany, I'm going to let you talk about your huge success with your book that you just released with your author. Share with the audience. What's the book? How can they get it? When is it going? When we know the ebook is released, but when is the paperback coming out and all that?
Oh man, I am so excited, everybody. We came out with Unsnapped Women's Edition, and I'm telling you, these ladies, they killed it on these stories of just being unsnapped. Now, let me just quickly tell you what unsnapped means. It's understanding necessary solutions needed to apply positive principles, ending destruction. What do you do to stay calm, cool, and collected in today's crazy world? And we are on the bestseller list right now. We hit number 3 on the bestseller list, and we hit number 1 new release in anger management, y'all. So if you ready to get your calm on, you better go ahead and download this book and get the paperback as well, because the paperback. Now, one of the authors in this amazing book, Tiffany Easley, she curates candles. So this book has a signature candle that also goes with the book as well. So I'm so excited for everyone to grab the book. In a couple of weeks, the book will be available to order on for paperback. We're probably going to do a pre-sale, so keep your eyes open this week for the pre-sale information. And get your book. Get your candle, and again, get your calm on, y'all. Get your calm on, because we need more calm in this world.
Yes, your peace is everything. Your peace is everything. And just like you said, get grounded, because that's when you can act unsnapped, is when you're grounded. And so excellent job. Congratulations to you and all your authors. It's just amazing to be able to be a blessing, to give people the opportunity to, if they want to become published, that they don't have to do a solo project first, that they can start off in an anthology. This is an anthology, that they can start off in an anthology in a safe place so that they can be comfortable, and they can get used to writing. They can get familiar with the publication process and all that other good stuff. And so, congratulations. Just want to give you that kudos. Up next for Tiffany is her men's.
Woo-woo! Got the men's edition coming out June. It's coming out right after Father's Day. June 19th is the men's edition. So we've got some amazing men that shared their stories of just, again, coming to that brink where you are about to just lose your stuff. Okay, you are about to do some things that my chapter is called orange is not my color. Okay, so you can do things to get yourself in that orange, right? Get yourself locked up or anything. And we just really came together to share our stories to help people to, be able to think about it. Think before you do something stupid. You will learn the power of the pause in these books. And the power of the pause is necessary in every single situation that you are in. It is necessary to pause and, again, just think before you do something stupid.
Yeah. It's so important. And it's important for us to also, too, as women, is to acknowledge that we do have our counterpart men, and to invite them to the playing field, right? That they have feelings too, and to invite them to the playing field. So that's really, really awesome, to have both a book for the women and a book for the men as well.
Absolutely.
So congratulations.
And the perspectives are so different, and it was really just awesome to read the stories on both sides, and and really just kind of see, we are completely different creatures. We are, but yeah, just really giving the men that safe space as well to be able to share, because sometimes some men out there don't want to share, so I think that sharing these stories, I really just commend these gentlemen for sharing their stories to help other men to be able to be a little more vulnerable, and share your stories a little bit more, because it's not your story. It's not. Don't hold on to it. Someone else is out there like ready to do something possibly to themselves because they feel like they're just alone. And to be able to read somebody's story and know that, hey, you know what, they went through something very similar, if not the same situation, and they got to the other side. So important. So
I believe it was one of your authors. We were having a strategy session a couple, like last week, and one of your authors shared that once he shared his story, once he wrote his first book, that he wasn't going to write, that someone who was following him shared with him that it was because he read his story that he didn't in his own life, that he found hope. So you never know who you are giving hope and inspiration to. And that's why we say to folks, whether you are a leader by title or unofficially or even unknowingly, people are watching you. People are watching you, and they are listening to things that you're saying, and they're being motivated by you, inspired by you, and you just have no clue that that's happening. And some people, because of I don't want to say it's shame, but just because of a level of desire to be private, won't say openly. You'll never know that they are so thankful for you. You may never know that you have changed a life. But just know that if you are speaking positivity, if you are speaking hope, resilience, if you're giving compliments, not complaints, that you are really impacting the world. And sometimes those are not the things that we get rewarded for in a tangible way.
Right.
But the world gets rewarded for it because you made a positive impact and you made the world
Mm-hmm.
a better place. And so that's why it's so important. And writing is therapeutic. Writing is not
Right.
only beneficial to the reader, but it's also beneficial to the writer, because now
Right.
the author is now beginning to process things about their life that they never had the opportunity to process, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
go through life, you know how they say life just be life, right? Right.
Right.
Well, in that, there's no processing, right? It's
Right.
just automatic. This is next, next, next. It's just going through the motions. But when you write, now you have to think. Now you
Right.
have to pause and Selah, think
Yeah.
deeply about what you're writing about.
Right.
And
And you got to visit it again. You got to go back to a place maybe that you don't want to necessarily go to. And I think even in this book, I shared a couple of different situations that I went through, and one in particular where, again, the orange is not my color, right? That situation was huge. And, if I would have snapped in that situation, I wouldn't have a very special person in my life right now, you
mm,
know, and that's my son. I mean, I'm just gonna say it, because people, you got to read, you have to read between the lines, in the book, but it's just, yeah, when I had to go through that, because I got angry. It was like I got angry at him again, and I was like, wait a second, this has been like 30 years.
right.
This has been 30 years ago. And I cried a little bit and was like, wow, it just gave me some emotion. And then it was like, okay, okay, and I think I did that because at first I was scared to share the story, because I'm like, oh, is someone going to be, is that person going to be upset or this and that? It's, hey, that's a story that happened in my life. It's a situation that happened. So I think when you're sharing your stories, that's one thing that you have to realize, is that as long as you're not doing like defamation of character, you're not out there putting somebody on blast, share your story. Share
Mm-hmm.
your story and don't worry about it, because if someone did something that affected you and you want to be able to share that situation so someone else doesn't have to go through that, then you got to go back and revisit it, feel it. I went outside, walked in the grass, hugged a few trees after I wrote it, and felt better. It was definitely a release.
Yeah, excellent. Very, very great insight. And it's a trigger. So we always want to feel like, because we tell people that if you're healed from it, it shouldn't trigger you.
Right.
That's a lie
Right.
because that's such a lie and it's so unrealistic. There's always going to be a level of trigger because it's a sensitive area.
That's right.
Where you know that there's healing is how you ultimately respond to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The healing is not in that you're never going to feel hurt or wounded by it again. It's just like something that it's just like hitting your knee, right? Your knee is healed for the most part, blah, blah, but if you hit that knee in that same area again, you're going to feel the sensitivity of what was there before. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and I say that to say that God didn't design us to not feel. He designed us to feel, because even the word of God tells you that when we cry, God cries, right? He weeps when we weep. And we know that that's evident of truth. Why? Because we know as parents, when our children are going through stuff, we want to protect, loving parent. A parent really loves their children. As tough as we want to be, we also want to protect our kids as much as possible. And so if we know that, then we know that that is how God designed us. And
Right.
so we were not designed to not feel. We were not designed to not care. We were not designed to not have empathy or compassion. We were designed to have all of that. And when things happen to us that are adverse, traumatic, we respond to that because it's a violation. And so the violation never leaves, but how we respond to the violation adjusts based on our character. How we
Right.
allow ourselves to learn and grow from the situation, to assess it and to address it the way that is best beneficial to us. So orange is not my color means that the results that I want is to remain out of jail.
That's right. Exactly.
So when I'm triggered by situations, I'm going to assess it and I'm going to address it for the outcome that I want. And if the outcome I want is that I don't want to go to jail, then I'm going to have to do this on an intellectual level that says that I have to operate in a grounded way that's using optimal wisdom and navigating through the conversation, navigating through the situation, but I'm going to be grounded. And we always talk about on Own It, the importance of knowing thyself. What does that mean? That you know what makes you tick and ticks you off, and you can identify the triggers before they're launched at you. And that's what grounded is. Grounded is developing a level of self-awareness, mind, body, spirit, and emotions, right? So that we know how to navigate successfully through this life. And that's what Unsnapped is navigating successfully and guarding your peace at all times, not allowing your peace to be robbed from you. That's why this is so important, this project. And it's so important, the work that you're doing, and that the fact that you approached it from a male and female perspective. Remembering that and acknowledging that we are different, but we are definitely designed to complement, not conflict with one another. All of that, we are not designed to be in conflict. We're actually designed to be in complement. That's how God designed the man and the woman. So let's get it. We're different to complement, not different to complicate. That's not it. And so when we begin to change the concept and the reality and the truth to how men and women were meant to work together and to be together, we'll begin to see a change in how we show up in our relationships. And so I just have to give you kudos for job well done with this. I know this is only the first edition of this book. I know you get ready to go back in and do an Unsnap 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is necessary because we have to reintroduce to the grown-up world what it means to be a grown-up. Because I think we've lost sight of that. We've lost sight of grown-ups knowing how to be grown up. Don't tell me this grown folks business when you acting like teenagers. Grown up business, and we need to hold accountability for how we're showing up for the next generation. How are we showing up for them? Are we being intentional? Talked earlier, whether you are formally, informally, whether you like it or not, someone's watching you and they're learning from you. They're either learning good or they're learning bad. And what do you want to be as a person? Do you want to be a person who has influenced people positively or negatively? Because at the end of the day, they're making decisions, and it's their life, but someone's got to guide someone else, right? We don't get to where we're going on our own. Someone is guiding us. We need some form of information, knowledge, revelation. We're getting it from each other. And we have to be responsible and conscious enough to know that sometimes it's not just about us. It's about the people that God has assigned to us. It's about our friends, our families, and making sure that we are making grounded decisions, and so that it has a positive impact on those that we love, and those who are watching us, who admire us. That's huge to have someone admire you. That's honorable to have someone, admire you. It's not narcissistic. It's not vain. It's someone saying that they value you. And if they value you, then show up right for them. And be grounded in your decision making, and come to a place that sometimes, this should be about me, but it's not about me. It's about the greater good. And so, and as parents, we do not want to be in jail. What's our kids going to do? Like, they don't need mommy in jail. They don't need daddy in jail. And there is redemption. If you do end up jail, there's redemption. God is faithful. He's loving. He's kind. He's gracious. And all that good stuff. There's redemption. But if we are, like the Bible says, slow to speak and quick to listen.
That's
You know,
right. That's
slow
right.
down, slow your roll. And I like, the power to pause.
Power to pause.
Huge. If we could just do that, I think that so much more could be avoided.
Absolutely.
So I want to see. We got a couple of comments. We'll see what's going on. Dr. Apostle, Dr. Prophetess Arani, yes, we love you. Thank you so much for chiming in.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and so I want to do a quick shout out to, and we're looking for Unsnap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're looking
Okay,
for that.
look, hey,
You got to
I
keep
accept
that
that challenge.
Yeah, you got to keep that rolling. I do need
That's
more
right.
authors in those books. So if you're looking to be in the next volume, I'm just doing a shout out.
That's right.
Unsnap
That's right.
for the women, Unsnap for the men. By all means, get in touch with Tiffany directly. She's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. All you got to do is look.
Coach Tiffany Parra. That's it.
Yeah.
Google Coach Tiffany Parra. It'll all come up.
Yeah, it all comes up. If you want to be in her upcoming, because I know she's getting ready to do another volume, so we might as well just jump.
Oh yeah, no, we'll be ramping up for the next volume, and then we also we're also going to be doing some Unsnap retreats. So let's look at that as well. Those will be in the Dominican Republic, so those are coming too. So just keep your eyes out, y'all, because we are ready to help you just relax, get grounded, and learn that power of the pause.
Awesome. And so, listen, I want to give a shout out without closing out. Like we said, this weekend was huge for Own It Magazine and Phoenix Fitness Magazine. It was huge this weekend because Own It Magazine published From the Words to Inspire You book series, Volume 2, Faithful Love. And the greatest of these is love, an anthology of believers. And so I just want to give huge congratulations to the contributing writers. I'm trying to remember how many of us was there. I think it was like 25 of us authors in that particular project. And we got number 1 new release. And I'm just going to give a testimony because on Friday evening, after I posted all of the banners for the authors, I posted all the banners for the authors. Went out to have dinner with an associate here, and came back home and just got so sick. I got so sick. I think I drank a batch of water that was not the greatest. And listen, I've been here nearly 4 years. So for me to just get a batch of water and get that kind of sick, it's not a big deal. So don't think like that. And I'm not moving back to the U.S. over the water. I'm not doing that. Because people go into a panic in the sense of where they think like, oh, you need to come. No, I don't need to come home. But this is a testimony of faith and really, really trusting God. And because so we posted, we went on live for the ebook. I sent out blah, 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 blah. Send out all the posts, get the bestseller going. And I'm going to tell you that, AI is great. Using AI technology is a wonderful thing. But also to never lose sight of using your instincts, trusting the intellect, the knowledge, the experience that you already have. I think that don't get so caught up in, and everyone always tells me, because I never use anything only in my intellect. my instinct and intellect, I trust intuitively. And so, but I always try to also be open to learning and growing. And so anyway, I use the statistical data to categorize the books and to give my key words and etc. And so I go in and look. There's no ranking yet. And so it's Saturday morning, and when I say to you, I could not get out of the bed other than go to the bathroom, get back in the bed, go to the bathroom, wash your hands good, because it's like, wash your hands real good, and go to bed because you don't want to get sicker. Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. And that's all I could do. And each time I would come to the computer, click on the mouse and say, okay, what's the status of the book? because it's not about me. You already know, we're the number one bestsellers for how many books? We've done this, we've been at this game for a while. And it's not about us, it's about the new authors that are coming in and they're excited about becoming bestsellers. And that's in our hands. That's in our hands until we see the results, right? Where we do what we can to formulate based on, the data that we get, etc.
Right.
And so I'm looking, and when the ranking comes out, we're at like 173, and I'm like, what? I've never come out the door
right.
173, and so of course I'm weak. I'm literally weak. It's like all I can do is get in the bed. So I said, okay, Daddy. You have to be ready to have that conversation with your clients.
Right.
Better you have that conversation with your people to say, hey, we shoot for the stars and hope that we make it, and maybe we won't make it. And I have to have that conversation as a leader to my Heavenly Father to say, okay, then Lord, you're going to give me the grace and the mercy to be able to say whatever.
Right.
And then there's that resolve that says, wait a minute here. There's redemption. There's redemption here. Let me look at, and of course, the Holy Spirit is starting to speak to me. Marisa, remember the former thing that you did, just do what you did before. And I went back in, did some adjusting, and lo and behold, here, our finish line. It's still, so the whole Saturday, I am unable to go on social media. And that's why you have to begin to realize that it's not always about social media and posting. Faith without works is dead. So you do have to do the work. We did the work. We posted. I posted. Everybody's banners went out Friday before I went to my dinner. Everybody's banner went out, tagged everybody, all the posts to say, hey, support us. Blah, blah. That had all gone out on Friday. But you keep it alive by posting the next day until you get the results. Well, I did not have the opportunity. A whole almost 48 hours had to go by without me posting at all because I just did not have the strength. And even though we love our authors, sometimes they get it with having to post and do it.
Right.
And sometimes they don't. They're just like, what's going on? How things coming? And I remember seeing a couple of posts. I bought my copy, but it's not just about you buying your copy. Everybody's got to buy copies, and they all have to do it at one time. We got to flood this market, and so I just said, you know what, Lord, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And Father God, you have not listened. You just going to bless the work of our hands. You're just going to bless the work of our hands. So I did that tweaking. I got enough energy Sunday to get on and do the tweaking that was necessary to adjust the words, adjust the categories, and we soared up. And when I say we soared up, we went from #1 new release. We are international because we have both national U.S. Purchases as well as international purchases of the book. We're #1 in faith and spirituality, #2 in Christian meditation, worship, and devotion. We're #3 in spiritual meditations, and #15 in Christian faith. So we soared back up. Those are 5 different categories that we are in the top. We're in the top 20, the top 15. So that's amazing work to have been able to accomplish. And really just listen, if you're writing about faith, God is going to be like, okay, you got to keep it real. And so just keeping it real with you that, people ask all the time, Marisa, how do you do this? It's really trusting in God. And then being all about my father's business and saying, hey, whatever he says that I have to accomplish in this life, that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that we're blessing people. We're blessed to be a blessing, that we're blessing people to walk in full alignment with their divine assignment. And that's what it is. And to guard that by being unsnapped. We cannot lose our cool in situations because this is a great risk. So all that Tiffany and I are doing, helping people to get in alignment with their life's assignment, helping them to understand their business and how it's structured and getting visibility through the magazines, Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine, Own It Magazine and Publishing, and all that's under Lit Magazine, Literacy Awareness, Lifestyles and Leisure Living, that's under Own It, BTG Magazine, Bridging the Gap, Strategizing for Student Success. This is all so that we can help people to get clarity over the process of writing, over the process of doing public speaking, to gain more and more clarity, confidence, and the audacity and tenacity to be everything that they were meant to be, what they were birthed on this earth to do. And that's simply what it's really all about. Because in order for you to be grounded and to be living a fulfilling life, you have to know who you are, what you were designed to do. You were designed by a creator. You were given gifts, talents, skills, competencies, an ideology, a methodology, an approach. You were given all of that so that you can live out a specific life that was designed specifically for you. And the unfulfillment and the depression and the loneliness is when you're out of whack, when you don't understand who you are, so you're not owning who you are and walking in all of that. And so that's what we're here to do. We love you so very much. Thank you for spending time with us. We are on our next anthology called Refresh. And if you're interested in being a part of, it's an anthology of believers. So Refresh is about being refreshed by God. After coming through a circumstance or coming through anything, and the importance of the continual need to be refreshed over and over and over again. And so if you're interested in working with me with that anthology, please reach out to me, message me on Messenger. You can email the Own It Magazine at gmail.com. And say, I would love to be a part of your next anthology, Marisa. Let me know how I can get started. Tiffany is here. Tiffany, share with them, because I know, like I said before, you doing another Unsnap, and you can close us out.
Absolutely. So if you guys are interested in helping people to learn that power of the pause and learn how to just tap into that calm, you definitely want to be part of our upcoming Unsnapped anthologies, because we don't know how many we're going to do, because you know what? There's a lot of y'all out there that have some lessons on how to stay unsnapped. And if you're interested in coming out to the DR and getting unsnapped, learning some of the tips, tools, and tricks on how to become unsnapped, email me. It's a little bit long, but it's Phoenix Fitness Fanatics Magazine at gmail.com.
Awesome. Listen, get in touch. We want to see you succeed. That's our heart's desire. And listen, this is your day. Take center stage and own it. We are out.
We're out.